When you're playing a tabletop role playing game and Pathfinder specifically, character creation is, for me, one of the best things. Pathfinder has such a deep and really kind of intensive character creation process that allows you to really zero in on the type of character you would like to play. It can be a little intimidating. However, there are tools out there that make it easier. And one of the best ones that I know of is Pathbuilder2e. It's the one that I use all the time. And I actually almost use it as a time killer or almost a game where I will, if I'm bored, just create characters kind of when I'm sitting waiting around. It makes it so easy to do and allows you to import the characters you create into Foundry. Makes it super easy in order to get off the ground and play. So let's go ahead and take a look at Pathbuilder. So my name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, one of the first things I'd like to mention is if you have the new player core on page 17, there is a whole section on character creation. It is really good, really useful. It takes you step by step, like step one, create a concept, explains all the attribute modifiers, all the ancestries and the heritages that you can use, all the classes that are available in player core, an explanation of the actual character sheet, and so on and so on. Goes through all the steps, kind of teaches you how to build a character. So this is fantastic, super easy, super great. However, I kind of like the online tools because I tend to play online through Foundry, and Pathbuilder allows me to build a character in a really step-by-step structured way that will allow me to import it into Foundry super easy when I'm done. Now, one of the first things, and you'll see here, is people talk about the ABCDs of character creation. So they've kind of named it here: ancestry for A, background for B, class for C, and details for D. I've also heard it be don't forget about your additional attribute modifiers. However, we're going to go ahead and go with details. But if you do have player core, once again, starting on page 17, you're going to get to that character creation section. As of the time of recording this video, Archives of Nethys has not updated to player core and the remaster, but it is also available for free on Archives of Nethys. At least the old player core handbook and the new player core will also be available as well. So let's go ahead and get into Pathbuilder. So go ahead and type in pathbuilder2e.com into your address bar, and you'll go ahead and get to Pathbuilder. There is a web version. There is also a app for Pathbuilder. However, the app is only available for Android, and you can purchase. If you purchase, you'll get access to additional things like familiars and things like that. And I fully recommend you do. I paid for it both on the app and the web version. However, it doesn't translate to both. So if you buy it for the web, you buy it for the web. If you buy it for your app, you buy it for the app. However, let's go ahead and start with character creation. So you can load characters that you've already built, or you can do new characters. We're going to do a new character, and we're going to go ahead and build a human cleric war priest for this particular example. So let's go ahead and get started. Hit new character. Because of the remaster, there's now an option that allows you to go ahead and select the particular rules that you would like to use. You can use the old player core handbook or the new remastered version. We're going to go with remastered, so we're going to have the remastered rules selected to on. If you turn it off, you have much less options. But using the remastered rules, you can allow outdated feats, heritages, and other choices. It's a good thing to do if you have something that hasn't been put into the player core, because player core 2 is not out yet. You can go ahead and select that if you would like. You will have more options during character creation. You can allow outdated spells if you would like to. You can allow outdated equipment for things that isn't in the new player core yet. And you can allow the use of updated spells for caster bonus spells. You can select that or not select it. It kind of depends. For me specifically, I usually do use updated spells for caster bonus spells and allow the use of outdated equipment. But it's up to you what options you would like to use. It also has additional options down here, regardless of whether you're using remaster or not. Battle Zoo is a great third-party addition of packs in order for character creation. And then the Adventure Pass allows specific things that are available in Adventure Pass for character creation. A good example of this is backgrounds, because there are additional backgrounds available for all the Adventure Pass that are tailored to that adventure. So if you're using Adventure Pass, I would suggest that you have Allow Adventure Pass be selected. Your other two options are to get started. If you were to just hit get started, it is going to give you the option of all classes, all heritages that are available, whether it's in player core or not. If you do core game only, it is going to allow the classes and heritages that are available in Player Core. And there is another limitation if you do core game only. It isn't fully translated over. So I know there's one error that I see that we're do a War Priest. And if you do a deity's favorite weapon and you do core game only, it won't allow you to select it. But we're going to go ahead and just do the get started and not do core game only. So we now have our character creation screen. This is what I particularly like about Pathbuilder is Pathbuilder. You start your ABCs, ancestry, background, and class. That's your ABC. D is your details, and that's where you do all your level 1 things, as well as if you want to continue to build, level 2, level 3, all the way up to level 20. And then you have all your details over here, such as your weapons, your defense, your gear, the spells you'd like to do, pets, details, as well as a feat map and actions that are available to you. But let's go ahead and start with our character. So we're going to start at level 1, 0 XP. And if you wanted to name your character at this point, you'd go ahead and put a character name in there, and it would be saved under that character name. But we're going to leave our ancestry. We're going to leave it at human, but there are other ones that are available. And as you are going through character building, you're going to see tabs up here. Uncommon are the uncommon ancestries, rare. Once again, it's the rare ancestries. If you're going to select these, I would suggest talking to your GM to make sure that they're comfortable with you keeping these things, simply because they might not fit in the adventure that you're doing. And the GM is the one that's going to have the details on whether any of these uncommon or rare just wouldn't work very well in that particular adventure pass. But we're going to go ahead and stick with a basic character, and we're going to stay with human. Go ahead and hit accept. And background. Now, background, if you wanted to do an adventure path one, let's say that you were doing Gatewalkers and you wanted to do Dreams of Vengeance. There's Dreams of Vengeance. It tells you everything there. You have a good explanation as well as what your deviant abilities would be if you were using Gatewalkers. This is available in the player handbook for Gatewalkers, so there's no spoilers here, so don't worry about that. But you have 2 ability boosts, and it'll tell you what those ability boosts are, and 1 free ability boost. You're generally going to see these for most backgrounds. You'll get trained in a skill, and you usually get a lore as well as a skill feat. Now, there are some backgrounds that have slightly different variations, but I will be honest with you, about 99% of the backgrounds are going to have ability boosts as well as a free, actually it's an attribute boost now in the remaster. And then you're going to get trained in a skill, you're going to get a lore skill, and you will generally get a skill feat. There are variances, but generally speaking, that's what you're going to get. Now, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something very basic, and we're going to be doing a War Priest. So the options I would do normally for a War Priest that isn't specific to an AP, I really do like Field Medic if they're going to be the main healer, and this one is. The other one I could possibly pick is Warrior's also a good one that I might choose. I'm going to stick with Field Medic, though, simply because you get 2 attribute boosts, Constitution or Wisdom, and a free ability boost, and you're training the medicine skill and the warfare lore skill, and you get battle medicine. To me, that's great if you're going to be the combat healer. So we'll go ahead and hit accept. Now, usually when you start making changes is when you're going to get a little thing that lets you know where you want to save it. So local folder will save it to your computer, but if you would like to do this on multiple things, including the app, then you could save to your Google Drive. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save to Google Drive. A little window comes up, and depending on what you were logged into on your particular browser, that would be the Google Drive that it would save to. And now we have our character saved, and it'll be available not only on this computer, but any computer that I log into Pathbuilder with my Google account. So now it's time to go to our last thing, which is the class of the ABCs. So class, we are going to go ahead and pick Cleric. Now, if you did the core rulebook only, as you see, you'd only get the ones that are available in the core rulebook after the remaster. However, because we didn't select the core rulebook only, we kind of have access to everything. This would be my suggestion, but it just depends on what you would like to do. But once again, we're going to go ahead and click Cleric. And we now have our ABCs done: Ancestry, Background, and Class. Now let's work a little bit on the D, or the details. So the other one I think I mentioned before is when I heard the ABCDs, I think of it as ABCD, and don't forget about your attribute boosts. So this is where you go ahead and select your attribute boosts. So your ancestry boost, you have strength, which you can go ahead and select any one of those that's available. And for your second one, any one of those that's available. You cannot double up in a particular line. Once again, it says illegal ancestry boost because you cannot select strength twice. But since we're going to be a frontliner, we're going to go ahead and do strength and constitution background boost. We're going to leave it at constitution and strength. But once again, because we selected the field medic, we could do constitution or wisdom. And we had a free attribute boost. We're going to leave those where they are. And our class boost is wisdom because that's what you get for a cleric. For our free boost, we're going to do strength. Con, we are going to go ahead and do dex for just a little bit of AC. And we're going to do charisma because I think we're going to build this as kind of an intimidation build. And that is our attribute set. Now we'll do our skill training. Now I particularly know that I want to use Iomedae, and Iomedae has a skill feat of intimidation, so I don't have to worry about that one. But because we did field medic, we have medicine already, and we're going to do athletics. Diplomacy, because we know intimidation is going to be part of our deity skills. And those are our 2 skills that we had. If you were to pick a rogue is kind of that skill monkey type class, and you would see, as opposed to 2, you'd see 5. Or if you had a higher intelligence, you'd see more skills. Because we're playing a average intelligence cleric, we only had the 2 skills. But let's go ahead and go to our deity skill. On our deity skill, we'll select intimidation because we are going to be doing Iomedae, and that's what Iomedae gives. If it was already selected, you could go ahead and select another one as the rules state. So we have our attributes, we have our skills, and we have our deity skill selected. So let's go ahead and do our heritages. Once again, this is a human. Versatile heritages is a good one. There's other ways you could do if you would like to do mixed heritages or anything along. You can go ahead and select that here. I'm going to keep with versatile simply because we're doing a war priest and I would like armor proficiency in order to get to medium level armor proficiency. And for our ancestry feat, it's a human. There are tons of good ones out here. And once again, I'm not suggesting this as an actual build for your character. However, natural ambition is pretty great because it allows you to select another class feat. And because we're a frontliner healer, the class feat I'm going to go ahead and select is the reach spell because I might not be able to disengage from combat to go heal someone, so I would like that additional reach, the additional 30 feet that I could possibly get from a touch spell, or the additional 30 feet you get to whatever range you had if it's a range spell. Now my divine font, I'm selecting Iomedae, so let's go ahead and do a healing font. If you had a different deity that had a harm font, or if you had a choice between heal or harm, you could go ahead and select either one that you wanted. And doctrine, this is a cleric, so the 2 choices are cloistered cleric and war priest, and we're going to go with a war priest. It would have all your doctrines that are kind of laid out for you, like your first doctrine, you're good at first level, second doctrine, you get at third, and you can go ahead and read through these and see what you would get as you go ahead and continue. Now, here is where you see select deity's favorite weapon. I'm doing Iomedae. Iomedae's favorite weapon is a longsword. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and get to longsword and select that. Now that doesn't mean I get it free. That just happens to be what it is. Now you'll notice that I haven't selected a deity yet. Deities are over here in details. So we can go ahead and select Iomedae. We'll select Iomedae. Now, if you didn't select it here, when we try to import into Foundry, a little pop-up will come up and ask you to select a deity. And that's kind of the same way it is if you don't select something in here at all and you try to import it into Foundry, a pop-up, generally speaking, will come up with your options to allow to select. So if you happen to forget something, don't worry about it. It's going to be available when you're bringing it into Foundry if that's the path that you're going. Now you can see we pretty much have our ancestry for A, background for B, class for C, and all of our details for first level totally set out. Now, at this point, it is almost a first level character. In other words, ones that you could just bring into Foundry and start playing. But let's just kind of finish it up here so we don't have to do it when we get to Foundry. One of the things to remember is that unless your GM plays something different, perhaps they wanted a very Spartan type campaign, or perhaps they wanted a very generous campaign, they might give you more gold, but a starting level, first level character is going to start with 15. Pathbuilder kind of already has that set out for you. But let's go ahead and go through our tabs and set up what we want to do. So we're going to add a weapon. I usually like to always have my character have a dagger because what type of adventurer wouldn't have a dagger just in case? So we'll go ahead and select the dagger. We can see it's going to cost 2 silver pieces. The bulk is light, one-handed. Now there's various ways you can get this into your inventory. Buy is going to go ahead and auto subtract this 2 silver from the 15 gold that you have, and give is going to give it to the character for free without subtracting from the gold. So just remember which one you're doing. I generally do buy for first level characters or any character that I'm creating for the first time if the GM has given me a base gold to start with. Really, buy the dagger for 2 silver pieces. Once you hit accept and you go over and kind of check, you'll see that it did subtract those 2 silver pieces from your gear. But Iomede's favorite weapon is a longsword, so let's go ahead and find that longsword. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down. And if you're looking for a specific weapon, you can hit this filter up in the right-hand side, and you can start filtering by different traits, different rarities, types, groups. However, longsword's a really easy one to find, and you'll find that on some screens, and there's going to be one coming up where you'll actually be able to type in a name in order to kind of limit it even more. But we're going to go ahead and just go right to that longsword and go ahead and grab it. And we're going to buy it. It's going to cost 1 gold piece. We hit buy, accept. And if we go to our gear once again, you'll see that 1 gold piece has been subtracted. So it keeps track of it for you and makes it super easy to do it. So we have our weapons done. So let's go ahead and select some type of armor. And the armor we're going to select is studded leather. Just it's a good basic one to start out with. And we'll hit accept. And then for a shield, you can select any shield that you want. Any shield that you want to pay for is actually a better way. It's not the one you want. But we'll go ahead and select a wooden shield and hit buy. And once again, it'll remove that 1 gold piece from our 15 starting gold that we had. Hit accept. And now we have our weapons and we have our leather armor as well as a wooden shield already set up for us. Now we're going to go to our gear. This can be where it gets a little bit confusing, and a lot of games have this type of thing, but this is also where we're going to see where the filter really comes in handy, is you can go ahead and add gear. Easiest thing to do. If you want to do something different, please feel free, but for me, especially on a first level character, the easiest thing to do is just go ahead and get the kit. Now, if you know exactly what class, you could type in cleric kit, but I'm just going to type in kit to show what kits are available. You have climbing kits, disguise kits, things like that. However, you'll see all the class kits. We're going to go ahead and select the cleric kit, but you can see that there are kits for a bunch of different classes, as well as other kits that are available. Even if you had certain archetypes, like it has a snare kit here, if that's what you had for a snare master. But the cleric kit is going to give you the basics. It's going to give you a backpack, a bedroll, 2 belt pouches, 10 pieces of chalk, flint and steel, 50 feet of rope, 2 weeks of rations, soap, 5 torches, and a water skin. And Caltrip's Adventurers Pack, Bandolier, and Religious Symbol. We're going to go ahead and select that. It's going to cost 2 gold, 2 silver. Go ahead and hit buy, and we hit accept to remove that from our gold that's available. And now you can see we're down to 7 gold, 6 silver. But we have pretty much everything, our weapon, our armor, and our gear already set up for our character ready to roll. Because it's a cleric, we have spells. So let's go ahead and go to the spells tab and just do a little bit more details. You can see at first level, we have our 5 cantrips as well as 2 spells. Now, once again, this is not a build, so I'm just going to pick some basic kind of generic spells that are generally useful. I'll go ahead and pick Guidance for my first cantrip. I'll go ahead and pick Forbidding Ward for my second cantrip. I will pick Light for my third cantrip. I'll pick a damage spell, and we'll do Divine Lance. And I'm going to pick Detect Magic. Read Aura would be a good one here. It just depends on what everybody else in your party has. So on your session 0, it might be a good idea to talk about what spells everybody gets. But Read Aura is another good option here as well. And then for my first level spells, I'm going to go ahead and select Bless. And I will also go ahead, and because I'm going to be working on an Intimidation type build, I'm going to select Fear. And those are my spells set up. But you might notice I don't have any heal spells. Well, remember, we have a font, and in the core Remaster, we actually get our 4 spells for our font. So if you click on font, because we select heal, because we selected heal over here in our divine font, we have our 4 heal spells already set up for us. Now, if you wanted a familiar of some sort or with a new pet, you would go ahead and set that up here. Then you have your details where you do your deity name, you can do your age. It's a human, starting adventurer. We'll do 23. Gender, you could set it whatever you want. We're going to do a they, them. And then languages, you could select whatever language. Our character is of average intelligence. We're just going to start with common and as a good basis. But now you'll see that your first level character has all your feat map already all set out with your skill feats, your human feats, your general feats, cleric feats, as well as any specials that you have because of the feats that you have selected. Super cool. And then you have a list of all the actions that are available. All your saves are set right here. Your HP and your AC is already set up for you. Everything for your speed and all your attributes are right here. Right now, we have a fully fleshed out first level character. But let's say we wanted to maybe map it, which is what I really like Pathbuilder for. Let's map it to a level 5. So we're going to do a level 5 War Priest. So for our level 5 War Priest, we are going to select War Priest Armor for our second level class feat and a skill feat. Let's go ahead and do Intimidating Glare because, once again, remember, I'm going to try this as an intimidation build. So second level, we are kind of good to go. You'll notice we don't have any new spells yet for second level. So let's go ahead and move on to third. We get a skill increase. So skill increase, we could do medicine, we could do religion, we could do any one of these actually. We're going to go ahead and do intimidation. So we have our skill increase done and we pick a new general feat and we're going to go ahead and select group coercion. So now we have our level 3. So let's go ahead and take our character to level 3 and let's take a look at the spells. Oh, we got new spells available. So let's go ahead and pick some new spells. We will go ahead and grab an additional spell. We'll grab Enfeeble here. And then for our rank 2 spells, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's grab a Dispel Magic. And let's go ahead and grab a Warrior's Regret because that's a good one for when people are trying to hit us. So now we have our spells set up for third level. So now let's go ahead and go to level 4. We're going to go ahead and bring this back to level 1 just so we can leave that there and make it a surprise when we get to these various levels. Our class feat at level 4, let's go ahead and make a Channel Smite. And for a skill feat, let's go ahead and pick Trick Magic item just in case we wanted to use something that we don't have the class to use. So we'll take our character to level 4 and we got no new spells at level 4. However, if we go to our feat map, we can see everything that we've selected is now in our feat map for us. Let's go ahead and go back to level 1, main tab, and let's go to our level 5 and kind of plan that one out too. So our skill increase we are going to go ahead and do our medicine skill here. And then for our ability boost, we'll just select a few. Charisma once again, because we're working on that intelligence. We could do Dex, we could do Wisdom. We'll go ahead and throw a Wisdom in here and finish. And Ancestry feat, we'll go ahead and grab a level 5 Ancestry feat. Clever Improviser. We already get our feats available to us. And let's go ahead and scroll through over here and go to our spells. Go to level 5, and now we have more spots for more spells. So let's grab a couple spells. We'll grab a new spell there, and we will grab Sound Body. And then for our third level spells, Warding Aggression. And another good one might be Moonlight Ray. Now, once again, I'm not suggesting you select these for a build. I'm kind of selecting these very quickly without a bunch of thought or a plan for a character, but I'm just kind of mechanically showing you how you would do it. So now we basically have a character totally planned out to level 5. You'll notice that our HP has gone up, our AC has gone up. We haven't actually done any additions to our particular weapons. You could, without a doubt. You can go into your longsword and hit options, and you can add your runes here if you happen to get runes. That way, when you bring it to Foundry, it's already going to be built onto the weapon. However, if you are just doing this for planning and not starting out at level 5, I wouldn't really suggest you start adding these things here. So Pathbuilder and Foundry work really well together in order to create a character. It makes it so easy. It makes it so easy to plan the future of your character just from the start. Things can change, and you can change it in Pathbuilder and you can change it in Foundry. But I do hope you enjoyed this video on how to build a character in Pathbuilder2e. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.